our life revolves around Sadie and Sadie's disability. It's not just something that it's not something that you can just ignore. It's something that needs to be taken seriously. With Sadie, a lot of her daily activities revolve around people having to do things for her. She cannot feed herself. She is very developmentally delayed in her speech. She cannot walk, she cannot crawl. We are in and out of doctor's appointments all over the place, all over Niagara. Another issue that we have is some buildings that we visit on a regular basis are not wheelchair accessible. Often I find myself having to carry her wheelchair upstairs. There's also a lot of emotional struggles that comes with having a sister with a disease. Seeing her in school with kids her age that are a lot more developed than she is sometimes is like it's a little saddening. Another thing though is the challenges that she faces personally. So just like she gets very frustrated with herself, not being able to crawl, not being able to walk. Just stuff that kids her age without a disability or a disease can do that she can't. With Sadie's disability, a sacrifice that my father has to make is that he cannot take jobs out of town because he needs to be with the family and helping with Sadie and everything else. Whenever my sister has like a doctor's appointment in Hamilton or something, he'll have to leave his job early to come and assist my mom with the appointment. Another sacrifice that we have to make as a family is not being able to take frequent or regular family vacations and trips. We can't just ignore the fact that she has a disease. We have to accept it and just carry on with our lives. When a child reaches 13 months of age, you receive your measles, mumps, rubella immunization. So she received the needle and everything was fine. She was learning how to walk, she was crawling, she was talking, she was developing at a regular pace. She hit all of her milestones on time, and then one day she woke up and she couldn't feed herself and she couldn't walk and she stopped talking and she would not crawl, and she was here, but her mind was elsewhere. So it didn't exactly just happen in one day. Like everything just slowly started like declining. We watched her for about 4.5 to 5 weeks when we decided that something was really wrong. So we took her into McMaster when she had her first seizure. Originally, they told us that she had this disease called leukodystrophy. And what leukodystrophy is, it is the deterioration of the white matter around your brain. So basically they told us that Sadie just had brain damage. And to this day, the doctors will not admit that immunization caused the disease. So they told us that they gave her about 3 weeks to live. You can't prepare yourself for losing your sister, or like in my parents, like you can't, at the time, losing your youngest child. 3 weeks came and she was still here. So we took her back and we were like, okay, well, what's seriously going on? So that's when we had to go into further testing, and that's when we decided, when we did not have any answers, that's when we decided to visit the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. When we went to Minnesota, we met a bunch of doctors and we're like, hey, this is what we have, this is what we know, but this is what we need to know. And that's when we found out that Sadie was diagnosed with mitochondrial disease. Sadie's primary diagnosis was complex 1+3 mitochondrial disease. With mitochondrial disease, it leads to 2 other diseases. She also suffers from carnitine deficiency and lactic acidosis. Sadie also does have leukodystrophy, as I stated earlier. So basically, her carnitine deficiency is her body does not receive the carnitine she needs, the nutrients, whatever. And the lactic acidosis is the lactic acid buildup in her muscles, which causes her muscles to tighten and spaz and everything else. So mitochondrial disease isn't just mitochondrial disease, it also leads to other things as well.